My name is Joe Prodi, and this is the Rise Above Project. And today I want to do a slight continuation off of yesterday's show. I've been watching more of the Olympics because I love the Olympics, so it's been heavy on my mind. One of the big questions that I have for today is, do athletes still represent the best of America? Now, I think they do in a lot of ways, but unfortunately, because of social media, and we have such a weakened culture, that I think that there's a lot of opportunity out there to make heroes out of people who are losers and make heroes out of people that just don't deserve to be heroes. So let's take a quick look at Simone Biles again, obviously. We have to remember this. She's not quitting due to trying to maintain her mental health, like a lot of people are saying. Actually, what she's doing is giving in to her neurotic tendencies. And those who are calling her a hero are actually, what they're doing is that they're enabling her and they're supporting her emotional weakness. And again, why are they doing this? They think they're caring and compassionate. But again, because we live in this social media world, that we think everybody's a mental health expert, and most people don't know what they're talking about. So what does Simone Biles really need? Well, I'm not here to diagnose, but let me just say this from what I've seen. I would say that she needs, in one word, she needs equanimity. And what would equanimity mean? How could it help her? Well, what it would do is, it would be that her reaction to a criticism or a compliment would be exactly the same. Her heart rate wouldn't go up not one beat based on what anybody said, positive or negative. As a matter of fact, people who know me really well, they know. I ask them, no matter what it is, whatever competition I'm doing, or even, one of these shows, I'll say, what did you not like about it? Criticize me, attack me, come after my thoughts, make it better for me. Iron sharpens iron, attack me in some way. Don't just praise me. Like, that doesn't make me any better. So equanimity, she should be able to do that, or be able to be in that, what they call the headspace now. She's not, and she can't. And she actually can. She has the potential, but there's nobody around her that's pushing her towards that. If you want more of a clinical definition of equanimity, I'm just going to read it just so I don't get any words wrong. I don't want anybody criticizing that I got a word wrong, so we're going to read through it. Equanimity is a state of psychological stability and composure, which is undisturbed by experience of or exposure to emotions, to pain, or other phenomena that may cause others to lose the balance of their mind. Now, Sunisa Lee, who is going to be, and I'm going to predict this already, who's going to be the star of this Olympics, she's already won one gold, in place of Simone Biles. She's had physical injuries during this last year. She lost an aunt and an uncle to COVID-19, and her father suffered a very severe accident where he can't move, I think, from the chest down. So she's experienced a lot of adversity, and she's doing amazingly well. I think it's safe to say that she has some level, or a great level, of equanimity. So let's go past Simone Biles for a second. The thing that really concerns me here is the culture itself, right? The reactions to Simone Biles, I think, are an indicator of how far our society has declined. And I hate to say this because I've been a liberal my whole life, and the first time I could vote was in 1984. I was 19 years old. And I voted Democrat then, and I have never voted Republican, and I've never thought of that. And I donate to the Republican part, I donate to the Democrat Party every month, as a matter of fact. So it really hurts me to say some of these things, or the things that I'm thinking right now, because right now it's very embarrassing to be a liberal. And I'm going to give you an example of something that seems to be very popular these days, and that's the scary part. I don't care about social media, but I care about why things are so popular, because that's usually in the public consciousness, and people go with it. They don't question it. So here's a thought here. somebody's thought, but thousands of people agree with it. It says, are you allowed to criticize Simone Biles? And it gives it in a flow chart. And it basically says, no, because I expect black athletes to put their minds and bodies at risk purely for my entertainment and sense of so-called national pride, because I've always viewed black Americans as expendable. Now, I'm as liberal-blooded as you could ever be, but this is disgusting. Most of my best friends are conservative Republicans, and they always ask me, do you want to go to the dark side? And the funny part about that is that they agree with me on a lot of issues, but they will never go Democrat or liberal. Why? Because of garbage like this, because white men are hated for some reason. And even me, I can try to put up with it, but this is garbage. This is so, it doesn't offend me because it doesn't, I'm nothing like this. But it's offensive that it's out there in the world that people are pushing this. Listen, Simone Biles, let's go over this in this particular situation. It has nothing to do with that she's a woman. It has nothing to do with the color of her skin. It has everything to do with my parents raised me with values and virtues. And I followed them in every sport and every business opportunity and things that I can do in my life. Simone Biles should not be heroic. She lacks courage right now. She's lacking determination. She's folded under pressure. She can't work out her issues and problems. She's not taking responsibility for herself. And she's basically quitting because she's not feeling it. You know, somebody like me, I've had multiple surgeries in my life, and a lot of them due to sports type stuff. Thank God a lot of the surgeons didn't say, wasn't feeling it today, man, so it looks like you're gonna have to suffer. You know, I woke up this morning too thinking about my parents again. And it's like, you know, thank God for my parents who didn't go, oh, you know, wasn't feeling it. My mother wasn't feeling it either. She worked 2 or 3 jobs and we were still poor, but she never complained. Like, this person's complaining with $10 million in the bank because they're trying to, you know, I don't understand it. You know, I made a comment the other day on Facebook just to see if I could get a rise out of somebody. And they said it's a lot more important that an airline pilot stick a landing than Simone Biles sticks a landing. And you know what they said? They said, well, an airline pilot doesn't have as much social media negativity. What? That's where we're at in this country? You're worried about social media, you know, and people liking you or not, and you literally think it's more important, and she is having a tougher time than an airline pilot? Like, this is so stupid. So let me continue with this anti-white propaganda, which is really what I said. It's like, I'm anti, like, if you don't have virtues and values, I don't have a lot of time for you. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. So let's continue. It says here, if you disagree or basically comment negatively on Simone Biles, it's because you're a pasty, middle-aged, sad sack griping about courage because I've never encountered any real form of adversity in my life. Okay, that's disgusting too. Listen, just because my skin's white doesn't mean I didn't grow up poor, and doesn't mean I didn't go through a lot of adversity. You know, just the thought, it's so condescending to black people too, to think only they have experienced anything. You know, I don't understand this mentality, and I'm liberal. It's making me not want to be liberal. It says, and criticizing black female athletes is my way of expressing deep-seated feelings of inferiority at my relative lack of talent. Interesting. As well as a way to give myself a false sense of cultural superiority. Since I secretly feel threatened by anything and anyone that challenges the notions of white supremacy and the heteropatriarchy. Challenges white supremacy? I think the people who have something negative to say about Simone Biles, they just want to see some integrity. They want to see some dedication. Where are we coming up with all of this? You're a white supremacist if you care about courage and determination. Like, that's so sick. Yeah, so and trust me, I love my subscribers, and thank you if you subscribed. But I have about 4,000 subscribers. That's it. Some of the people that are saying these disgusting things have millions of followers, which I don't really care. It's amazing where people's minds are. So I'll give you an example. Here's something that was shared thousands upon thousands of times. It went viral because people care about it. People agree with it. And that's the sad part. But personally, I think what this guy is saying right now, I'm gonna read part of it, but this is what actually represents a very coddled, pussified culture that we're living in right now. So it says, an Idaho father wrote, commenting, about Biles' decision to step down, saying the Olympic moment has made her an even better example to our daughters. Do you notice the sexism in there too, by the way? To our daughters? Listen, I don't care if she's a woman or a man. There's women that I look up to all the time for what they do. I love Kerri Strug. She's a girl. She was a woman. Like, I love Nadia Comaneci too. Like, what? Only to our daughters? Like, why is it only about sex? Like, or gender, I should say. It's ridiculous. He continues. Our athletes should not have to destroy themselves to meet our standards. Okay, here we go with the narcissism again. Listen, nobody cares about you, man. Like, athletes don't care about your standards. Athletes do things because they want to, because they love to. They usually start when they're 5 or 6 years old. They're not thinking, I'm gonna do this to impress some idiot guy who's pussified from Idaho. Like, that's not who they're doing this for. They're not doing it for you, man. Like, just stop. It's insane. The next sentence. If giving empathetic, authentic support. Okay, see, here's where everybody thinks they're a therapist now. This is like word salad. Who talks like this? If giving empathetic, authentic support to our Olympians, you don't give support to the Olympians, man. You turn the TV on. Like, empathetic, authentic support? What are you even talking about there? You know, insane. If it means that we will earn less gold medals, I'm happy to make that trade. You're happy to make that trade? You've never won a gold medal. You're not giving up anything. You're not earning less medals. You're not in the competition, man. Like, there's the narcissism again. It's a trade that you're willing to make. You're not there. You're not the one eating a specialized diet, going to sleep at the right times all that. You're not doing anything. Like, what are you talking about right now? I don't even understand what he's talking about. That's insane to even say that. That's like saying, I'm willing to make a sacrifice for some person I've never known because I don't think that they should necessarily have to work through tough times to do well. Like, that makes no sense to me. It shouldn't make sense to anybody. And here he goes. He's got more to say. He said once that he was excited about watching Strug's famous one-leg vault. But on Tuesday, he wasn't as inspired after rewatching the gymnastics champion along with his daughters as she landed her second vault and crumbled in tears and agony. Right, but he also forgets that she did win the gold medal, something that she wanted to win her whole life. So it wasn't tears and agony. It was also thrilling and exciting for her too. He leaves that out, right? Question, so why did she jump again if she was hurt? One of my girls asked. I made some inane reply about the heart of a champion or Olympic spirit, but in the back of my mind, a thought was festering. She shouldn't have jumped again, I thought. That's why she's a champion, and you're not. And this is what he would say to her, quote, you are an outstanding athlete, a true role model, a powerful woman. Nothing will change. What man talks like that, by the way? He's really trying to win points with somebody. I don't know, but that's embarrassing. Nothing will change that. Please don't sacrifice your emotional or physical well-being for our entertainment or national pride. We are proud of you for being brave enough to compete. And there we go. Everybody gets a trophy now. Listen, we should just have participation trophies now, or medals in the Olympics, right? No gold, no silver, no bronze, none of that, right? And this would make this guy happy. We are proud of you for having the wisdom to know when to step back. We are proud for you to quit. That's what we're doing here. So I don't understand this guy. But also what's going around, and it's a big lie. They said during that second vault, we're talking about Kerri Strug, by the way, who I think it was the 96 Olympics in Atlanta, and she didn't need that last vault, by the way, but she thought she did, and so that's the most important thing about it. When she landed that, they won the gold medal, and you can look on in the video, and it's amazing. I've watched it way back when it happened live, and I've watched it just recently, and it still brought tears to my eyes. The amazing, the dedication that it would take to do something like that. It was really amazing. But again, they're lying about her, right? Because they said that it ended her career, and it just put her career to a stop. Well, even if it did it matter? When you win the top of the food chain, would it matter if your career ended or not? Because a lot of people quit at that point anyway. But here's the truth of the matter. First of all, when she hurt herself, she didn't really do it on the second vault. She did it on the first vault. So when they told her to do the second one, it's like, that's not the one that caused the injury. The other one, it caused it on the first one. So that does make a difference. And when they said that she broke her ankle, no, she did not break her ankle. She sprained her ankle, which is bad. That's true. But it's not the same thing as a break. And they said it ended her career. It did not. It did not. Because after that, what she decided to do, her choice, she joined the Ice Capades. So I'm pretty sure her ankle was okay to join the Ice Capades, right? And she made money doing that. And from there, she went to Stanford. She wanted to go to school. So she went to Stanford, and she graduated Stanford with a master's degree. So that's also part of the story. Why? Because how you do something probably is how you do everything. And the dedication and the commitment that she showed as a very young person in the Olympics is how she continued her life. And she's been a success. Why? Because of the commitment and dedication and the courage that it takes to live a good life and to do the right things and to go through adversity is what she did. So now she has a master's degree in, I believe, in sociology from Stanford, probably one of the best schools in the United States. And she has a family, married, has kids, all of it, living the American dream. And to go along with that, just in case somebody was like, oh my God, but it ended that little gymnastics career. That's not all of who she is. And if you think it hurt her ankle so bad she couldn't do anything, you know what she does for fun? She runs 26.2 mile marathon races. So you gotta call BS when it's there. Sorry. It didn't destroy your ankle, okay? It's not even close. So that's a lie. And then it's like, oh my God, like she felt terrible about the whole thing and she was pushed into it. Again, sorry, gotta call BS. It's a lie. Here's a quote from her. You ready? Here we go. Over the years, Strug passionately defended her coach's decision to push her second jump. Quote, everyone always said I was the baby, Strug told Sports Illustrated. This was my time, and I said, I'm gonna prove it. People have the wrong impression that gymnasts are robots and don't think. I was upset with people blaming Bella, the coach, for my decision to vault again. It was all on her. She wanted to do it and she defends it to this day. And she's had a great life and she has no problems with her ankle. So let's move on. Most of what people are saying here is just an absolute lie that I can see. And again, it's part and parcel with a very weakened culture that, I get it that everybody has a voice these days, but some should be a little bit louder than others, So I could name thousands probably of great athletes who have pushed through adversity. Let me just name like two, because I don't want to make the show too long, because like I always do. But I want to mention this. Listen, Kurt Angle won the gold medal in wrestling with a broken neck. I think it was in I forgot what Olympics it was, maybe the 96 Olympics. It might have been Atlanta. But anyway, he didn't break his neck in the Olympics. He broke his neck before the Olympics. And he said that the biggest challenge he had to win the gold medal in the Olympics was to find a doctor that was crazy enough to clear him to go into an Olympic wrestling sport with a broken neck. And he did. He found somebody. And he went in and he won the gold medal. So I don't want to hear it about all these people now saying that it's better to quit. Let's take a look at Greg Louganis, because I really liked him too. He was an amazing diver and athlete and human being. He was on the high dive. I believe it's 3 meters. 3 meters, something like that. Anyway, he hit his head on the way down. And obviously it destroyed the dive. When you smash your head, it'll do something like that. And he was bleeding. He required stitches. So we have a physical injury here. But more than that, because what he knew that everybody else didn't know at that time, he was already diagnosed with AIDS. And one of the things that scared him is that the blood was in the water, and he was afraid, because nobody knew at that time, of how dangerous that could be. And he thought, oh my God, I'm going to kill all these divers, And then he had a doctor that stitched him up. Think about the mental stress there, because he wanted to tell the doctor, that he had AIDS, because he didn't know if he was going to kill his doctor too. So you could say some negative stuff about that, obviously, if you want to go in that direction, but that's not the direction I'm going to go today. The direction I will go is to say he had massive emotional distraughtness on him. He was worried about the lives of all these people and the divers and what would happen, because back then having AIDS was that was a death sentence and nobody would want to be around you. So what are you going to do about this now? What did he do? He went back up on the diving board and did all these basically perfect dives, and he won the gold medal again. That's what winners do. So yeah, it's not about black, white, male, female. It's about basics. Do you have value? Do you have virtue? And the less you're born with, by the way, the harder you're going to have to work, and more values and virtues you're going to have, right? You're going to have more courage. You're going to have the ability to dig deeper, and all these things are really important. So as usual, I made the show a little bit too long. I'm going to go back downstairs and go watch more of the Olympics. Go USA.